I'm sick of Linkin Park, seriously now. Hybrid Theory was decent, but after that, God, they turned awful. This sounds, metalcore sounds a little bit better though. So hey guys, Ranchin bringing you all another StarCraft commentary, and I am tired, but I don't care because I'm excited for this matchup right now. Second set in the last game of the round of 16 is Stork, who never stops, against Kwanro. Samson Khan against CJ Entus, both players of those famed teams stuff. Righto, so Stork, a guy who's has a long history with all tournaments and all events, and just a guy who finally won a gold a few months back in the Incruit OSL. He's the defending OSL champion, who's now in danger of being knocked out by Kwanro Heel, being 1-0 under. Or 1 under. Anyway, he's under. Yeah, so yeah, Kwanro sitting here, getting himself ready, having a little problem with his sleeves there. Just has some warm-up pads on his arms, or just has shirt under that little awesomeness CJ jacket. Seriously, it looks like a Formula 1 driver. So I'm gonna see how Kwanro plays against Stork here. He did very well in the first game, playing very aggressively, and that's what he does best. I think he should definitely keep up with strong aggressive play, because that definitely comes out to help him. Metalcore in the background. Down. 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, okay, yeah, something like that. So this is going to be on Byzantium II at 11 o'clock. We're going to have in blue the Zerg Kwanro, and at the lower left we're going to have Stork in teal as the protoss. Crap. Please change the colors. Please change the colors. Seriously. Those colors suck on the mini-map. Is that teal or aquamarine? Whatever. Looks like aquamarine to me. So this is going to be on Byzantium II, but fairly balanced map between these two races. I think one of these races has one win over the other, so it's fairly balanced. There, you know, there's one ramp leads upwards into your natural that leads then downwards into a fairly open middle, which of course helps Zerg. There's plenty of maneuverability around the map. There's also you gotta fight down a ramp inside your main, which Zergs love being able. Gives the Zerg a better chance of breaking downwards, and of course makes the Forge Fast Expand a little bit more dangerous unless you do it correctly. So Stork, however, is gonna go for that Forge Fast Expand, or maybe not. Wow. Okay, just sending out a very early scouting probe. He's gonna spot that Overlord. The Overlord's gonna spot that probe, so both players are gonna know where each other are. So Stork's sending out a very early scouting probe, possibly thinking that there's some gonna be cheese coming his way. And not cheese, but very early spawning pool from Kwanro. And Stork meanwhile going for a gateway first, so he's playing safe. The Forge Fast Expand is not always great on this map. You gotta be very careful. A lot of maps these days that are made so that Forge Fast Expands are simply not viable. So early spawning pool into gas from Kwanro. He's playing very interesting that way, and we'll see how Stork manages on this map. I recently saw Bisu in the OSL play against Yarnak on Chupung Ryong. Mind you, the map still would work with a Forge Fast Command, but I think you just practice game Stork might actually take out a drone! No, not gonna happen. Almost loses his probe, but almost manages to catch a drone there, but he wouldn't want to lose his probe while he was at it, so all in all, just good for him there. But yeah, Bisu was playing there. Stork would actually try to go for this drone again. Oh no, just gonna take a couple of shots, just run by. So yeah, Bisu was playing kind of a practice 1-gate build, and he did a very interesting build. Just basically went for standard, got a lot of Corsairs out there off one base, then expanded safely. And instead of guarding that expansion with cannons as you would do with a Forge Fast Expand, mind you, you get the expansion later, but then you have quite a few troops on the ground, Zealots, and he had Zealots as well as Dragoon to guard his expansion. You can see Stork does the same thing, getting his Cybernetics Core and gas right now. And Kwanro has already his Zerglings out. So he might be actually trying to move forward, and he also has a drone to pick up his own expansion. So just early 9 pull from Kwanro. He's more that kind of player. He prefers to get some troops down on the ground early to put on some pressure. Not mining any gas for now, just going to continue production here. He has an extractor going in case he wants that, and he also has 2 Zerglings blocking his own ramp to make sure that Stork doesn't get the probe inside. The probe is highly damaged, so he definitely doesn't want to try anything. Meanwhile, Stork now has 2 Zealots on his own ramp, and I'm not quite sure whether those 6 Zerglings are going to be able to get through that. They're definitely going to give it a shot. Just going to run in, going to buy 1 Zergling, going to take 1 shot from one hit from a Zergling, and now Stork putting down an extra pylon as well as putting down his Stargate, so he's indeed going to go for those early, and ooh, Hydralisk Den coming up from Kwanro, and also mining gas now, so we could be seeing 2 base lurkers, and we're going to see whether Kwanro is successful with this. He's going to attempt to break here, although Hydralisk could also help him out against these Corsairs that are going to be coming his way. He definitely has that Overlord inside, so he definitely knows what's coming his way. Stork trying to get a scout in, but that's going to be prevented. Those 2 Zerglings on the ramp just going to start attacking that probe, and yeah, it now has even more Zerglings moving in. That's going to be curtains for that probe. Ooh, Zergling. Stork desperately trying to run that probe by. Ooh, but overall going to get caught. 8 or 10, I think it's 8 Zerglings on the ground for Kwanro. He's just going to use those to kind of control the movement of the map for now, because Stork's definitely not going to move out. He wants to protect his own base. So Hydra's Den up. We're going to see what he uses that for. I didn't see a lair quite yet for him, though. Still of a Dune also being put down by Stork, so we're going to see whether he's going to go for Templar Archives and getting just his Dark Templar off of one base. The Bisu build is a Forge Fast Expand into Stargate and Templar Archives and harassing Overlords and then killing everything with Dark Templar, but this could be the one base version of that. The Bork build! This is when Stork and Bisu combine, so this is going to be the Templar Archive, so that could be exactly what's going through. And speed upgrade, now ready for the Zerglings. Zergling's going to attempt to run by, but ooh, they're just going to get flanked by those Zealots. Not going to be able to, but should be able to run around and just avoid those Zealots pretty well, though the Zerglings just very, very fast, and those Zealots definitely not fast enough. Also one probed out there for Stork. He might be there to plant down an Nexus or a Pylon. Not quite sure when he is in a expansion position. First Corsair now is out, going to fly around. There was a Hydralisk that saw that, and there are still Hydralisk around. One Pylon being planted and instantly canceled by Stork as those Zerglings ran in. So those Zerglings are definitely going to keep harassing and just going to try to prevent an expansion. Stork trying to harass something with that Corsair, but it's just not going to be allowed. There are Hydralisk on the ground, so he's not going to be able to. He's going to be able to get a full scout, but nothing else. 2 cannons now being planted next to the gateway inside of Stroke space. I didn't even notice that forge there. That's very interesting. He's gonna sit down. He's definitely afraid of something coming down his ramp. His Corsair's still flying around, taking more Hydralisk hits. Not gonna be able to do any short damage. Zerglings again running down, but I just don't think. I'm not really sure why Stroke decided to put all those cannons down. Those might be simply to prevent the lurkers. First Dark Templar now is out. There are no Overlords in place. Those cannons could be there simply for those lurkers, as I said, because I'm not really seeing any other reason. First Dark Templar now is out, and he's going to make these Hydralisk and Zerglings run away. Overlords do not have speed at this time, so the Dark Templar is going to be enough to defend the natural expansion of Storks, which he will be setting up soon. Kwanro, I think, at this point already has some forces on the ground. He could actually, thinking of a push, actually pushing in. I don't say the Dark Templar might have moved out for Stork, I believe, going to go and do some economic damage, but there are Overlords in place everywhere to prevent that. I think Kwanro, instead of doing this here, this aggressive action, which will really lead nowhere, I think he should actually think of taking out one Zealot. That's pretty good, and is gonna just move in. Dark Templar, though, is in place there, and that's instantly gonna force Kwanro backward. I think Kwanro should expand at this point, expand again, because Stork is setting up for his own expansion, and Stork has used a lot of the one base. He's getting very high tech on one base. It's gonna prevent him from having a troop for a long time. Meanwhile, now Dark Templar moving in here. There are Overlords in place, though. They're gonna try to run by, but the Hydra is gonna be in time. There are Corsairs meanwhile attacking the Overlord there. Dark Templar actually gonna get in there. No Overlords in place. The Dark Templar is gonna start raping this line there. Overlord trying to get in place. Oh man, but Kwanro doing at least a very good job morphing into Overlord just at that time. And meanwhile, now responding by attacking and forcing into the base of Storks there. There is a cannon there, but Overlord also in time to move in on the Dark Templar. The cannons pop up just in time, but the cannons are going to be attacked by the Zerglings and the Hydra Skull. The cannons have gone down. Now there's one Zealot fighting there. And wow, Kwanro doing a very good aggressive action here, just moving in. We're going to see whether he manages to move down ramp. Meanwhile, Stork still has the Dark Templar inside of Kwanro's own base. Not managing to do too much damage because the drones were transferred in a very timely and awesome fashion there. by Stork. That Dark Templar just gonna get flushed out. He's trying to attack overlords that are on time, and the Dark Templar does die, and the threat to Kwanro is over. Stork still, he's overextending himself insanely, adding 2 more gateways, and he's still off only on 1 base. He needs to get an expansion going. Kwanro, meanwhile, sticking to 2 expansions, just producing a bunch of Hydras, and now going to move into Stork's base, and Stork is in serious trouble at this point. Meanwhile, Spire not coming out, so he is going to react by putting down a Spire, and there are not really that many defenses. This is actually a smart move to get the Spire going. He will have some Scourge in case any more Corsairs pop out, although I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Stork has the economy for that. Meanwhile, second Gasno coming up for Kwanro. I don't think Stork has enough economy for all that. Putting down 3 cannons and 4 gateways, and Kwanro might actually be putting down a push. So Kwanro's just going to produce a lot of Hydras, actually going to move down this ramp. Is going to give him a little bit of advantage. Having those Hydras on the ramp engages some Zealots, also taking out 1 cannon, losing some of his own Hydras in the way, but